Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming. And today you might have recognised the fact that once again Lee is not doing his day. For all I can assume, I've done this in advance, but Lee's PC is probably still fucked. So you've got me to talk about some stuff. And I thought, as it's completely off wall and not my week, I can kind of do what the fuck I want to. So I wanted to ask a question today and maybe explore something a little bit more. And that is, in most other forms of media, you have a huge community of creators that start doing good things, and then some more creators do some more good things. And at some point, it's happened a lot in music and sport, but you have these super groups that end up coming together. And that's something we haven't really seen in video games yet. And what I mean by that is, it seems like every game, AAA game that comes out has a good one anyway, has a specific thing that it does really well. For example, The Shadow of Mordor, that game had the Nemesis system, which you can never say cleanly, but the Nemesis system was a really good game mechanic that worked really well, and the game itself was really good, but that particular insight and creativity of that particular mechanic, put that together with maybe some of the earlier story writing in the Mass Effect universe, and maybe some of the visuals combined with some people from Rockstar who are quite good at facial stuff, some people at Ubisoft and the Assassin's Creed franchise, that looks really good visually, and also some people from Quantic Dream who can just do some crazy ass shit in the early days. And I say early days meaning like pre-current generation. But you've got games like Last of Us, Naughty Dog, you've got the Uncharted series, you've got so many different games that excel in stuff. And I wanted to think, who would your supergroup derive their sort of gaming history or gaming heritage from? For me, I think it'd have to be a mixture of Naughty Dog, Quantic Dream, so Naughty Dog doing Last of Us and Uncharted, games like that, and Quantic Dream with Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, those kind of games. And I can only hope that in the future there'll be some massive conglomeration? That's not even the word. Or just combining of all of these groups together to create an amazing game, like a beats everything game. Now, in my personal opinion, and it is only in a personal opinion, the only game that's ever come close to that being like a 10 out of 10 perfect game, even with all of its bugs, was Grand Theft Auto 5. And I mean, that game just had levels and layers upon layers of quality, as well as some bugs that they did fix, but they still, they're trying to do it still now. I just think, what would yours be? That's the first question I want to ask today, is what would the games... Well, what games would you pull together to create like a super game or a super developer house thing? Because I think it's really important as we move on and mature as an industry that gaming becomes more important, and we're already seeing games becoming more and more expensive than films, and film actors, well-known film actors in most cases, getting involved in video games more and more because A, probably the paycheck's there, and B, it's something they want to do because their kids think that it's cool. It's just, I've grown up with video games. I am of that generation. I'm 37, and it's just appeared to me that I'm not actually 37 yet, but I'm 36, and when I was a child, games were quite simply basic. They were ping pong, as I mentioned in the previous vlog. Games were very, very simple, but then they started to get more sophisticated, and it became less of a type in your own game and play it and using cassettes to start using floppy disks and then start using CDs and games became more immersive and more engaging with you and tried to get your attention, then people started to think about game theory in their design of games. I mean, when was the last time that you played a AAA that actually had levels, you know, distinct portions of the game? That stuff just, it happens in places. I mean, some of the indie titles I've played recently, they do have levels, but the AAA games, they don't generally have those anymore, because they know if you have a level, you have a place to stop, and they don't want you to stop. I mean, think about any leveling that you see in online games. That just makes you keep playing. They know this, but that has just grown and grown and grown. And now we've got VR headsets, and now we can immerse ourselves even more. But putting it all together, what would your top game hybrid monster thing actually look like? I want to know. I really want to know what you guys think about this, because it's something that goes around in my head a lot. Supergroup, super game. What would be the super game? And I guess I also wanted to just have a bit of a muse about what I'm drawn to in video games. It's a bit of like an interview, really, isn't it? You're getting to know a little bit about the snare noggin. But things that draw me to games are, I'm one for the God complex. If I can go into a game and it does amazing things, and I don't have to pay off to it too much, I don't have to put much in to get much out, that's always a nice thing to have in gaming. I was a massive fan of God of War because although the simple attacks, you know, they looked really nice, when you chain them all together and do something amazing, it was amazing, and the whole game itself was epic for the time. I'm really looking forward to the new God of War, by the way. I might have mentioned that in the last vlog. But I get drawn to games that are not only just visually beautiful as well, that really has a good thing for me. I really like the small details that people go into. On the recent Mass Effect Andromeda, which there will be a review out shortly if this video goes out before and actually sees the light of day before the Saturday. The Mass Effect has a little thing about the sand, so when you're walking in the sand, you make a footprint, an accurately positioned footprint, which is something that didn't happen up until very recently, I have to say. But it fades away in a nice amount of time. It does it with the Nomad tracks, the vehicle you use in the game, and it's just a nice touch. The sound of people walking when they move from texture to texture, I pick up on that as well, because I think if you're making a AAA game, a game that you're asking a lot of money for from people, you want those small details to be actually worthwhile and seem correct. So if you're walking on pebbles or metal or wood or sand or grass, you know, you want to hear the difference. Now, one thing I do know that Naughty Dog are probably one of the champions of this. They have an ability to, in the Uncharted series, I remember for the first time I saw somebody having wet clothes in a game that gradually sort of dried out. I was blown away just think about how much detail and how much thought had to go into that to put into something game you've probably never noticed before. That's the part I love about creating a game like that, and it's sad you only can really spend your 20 to 40 hours with those kind of games, because you have to go back and try and see it again, but by the time you do feel like it's the right time, it's kind of the end of the time, if that makes sense. It's new things have come along and your attention is taken elsewhere. It's I mean, a lot of the Naughty Dog games, they're still worth going back to play again. I think I will at some point pick up certainly the first couple of Uncharted games, but they have to, because they're puzzle based stuff, you don't want to have to play it too soon since you last played it. So that's that really. So when I sat down to do this vlog, apart from going on a bit about stuff going around my brain, which is likely to end up in a 4-hour long video, I did think about some other gaming news that might be floating about the place. Today I did see a video from Jim Sterling about Bulletstorm. Was it Bulletstorm? The remastered version recently, but it's being sold at like $60 for a game that's probably about 3 or 5 years old. I don't know when it last came out, 5 or 6 years ago. maybe even less than that. So A, why are you remastering a game that doesn't need remastering so soon, and why you expect people to actually spend full whack on it? It seems retarded, because all the people that would have bought it the first time. So you're not going to get a new audience by selling it at full price again. And it's got Duke Nukem as a DLC apparently for like $5. Why is that? Why? Fucking why? Once again, Blizzard is in the news about Overwatch, some new releases and stuff going on there. I don't know the detail. I've literally just passed my eyes over a headline. So I'm not talking about like journalistic integrity here, okay? I'm just talking about stuff I've seen and I wanted to impart to you. But the reason I mention it is that Overwatch is a game I just haven't got involved in. And I remember probably a couple of months ago, I watched a video from Boogie, and he said an interesting thing, that you could not play any game other than those made by Blizzard and have a fairly decent library of games to play. You wouldn't get bored. They've explored into a different type of genre for bits and pieces. So you've got card game, you've got your World of Warcraft, you've got Overwatch, you've got Diablo. You know, these are all games that are just crazy good. Okay, Diablo 3 had a few problems when it launched. Everyone knows about the server problems. But the main thing is that these games are good quality games, and Overwatch, they've just taken over. I mean, I follow a gaming channel called Unit Lost Gaming, which had two co-hosts in it. And the reason I latched onto them and started watching their stuff is because they were similar to me and Lee, having two co-hosts running a channel, and they did really, really well. There were, you know, a few thousand subscribers. I think there were like 30,000 when I started watching them. And Stalosa, one of the guys there, just started latching on to Overwatch and loving it and doing lots of videos on it. And that channel now is 10 times as big. It's ridiculous. I think it's even bigger than that. I think it's maybe 20 times as big as it was, which is absolutely nuts, but well done to them. But Overwatch is a game that I sense a lot of toxicity in it, the same way that I felt quite a lot of toxicity in For Honor from some people. I still enjoy playing the game, but there's a lot of toxicity there. And I think with Overwatch, you get the same problem, but maybe magnified a bit more. It's a game that will never go out of fashion. Let's be honest. It's the type of game that, with a couple of new maps and one or two new characters now and again, it's as close to like the League of Legends possibilities of matchups that you could possibly get. People are really enjoying it, and that's the point of games. You should really enjoy games, and so I'm happy for them. I'm happy for Unit Lost Gaming, and I'm happy for the Overwatch success, because if I ever want to get involved in Overwatch, I can do. It's just I have got no time to spend on that yet. I'm still trying to find time to sort of get time with Horizon Zero Dawn, which I still have to put into my PS4. But I'm at that point now where I have to take things off of my PS4 to play things. Oh, I wonder how much space Final Fantasy takes up. Yeah. So that's all for me. I'm not going to ramble on today like I have done in the past. But thank you guys for watching our videos. It's really, really important that there is that engagement. And thank you to everybody who commented on my last vloggy video I did last week. Because those videos they're quite hard to edit together afterwards. If I have lots of cuts, then there'll be lots of editing to do. But the main thing is that you guys enjoy what we keep putting out, and if you don't enjoy it, please do give us some criticism, because it will help us to sort of refine what we do. I think every channel will always want that. So thank you for your time and attention today. And we do have videos coming out every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. If you made it this far, maybe you'll think about subscribing, maybe liking the video, maybe dropping it to some friends' inboxes and say, check this channel out, they're fucking awesome. But this is just the way of YouTube. But thank you very much for your attention. I will be not doing any solo videos for a little while, because hopefully Lee's PC will be fixed and he'll be back on track. But these things happen with PCs. Happened to mine a couple of months ago. something just went pop, and then you have to fix the whole fucking thing. So I do hope that you guys have a lovely weekend. If this is going out on the Thursday, I think it is, because I'm recording this a few days in advance, we'll be having a Mass Effect Andromeda review on Saturday, and I hope you enjoyed that. You guys are awesome. Please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, play lots of games, have lots of fun, and I shall see you very soon in one way, shape or form. Okay, love you, bye bye. I'm not going to survive. Yep, impaled. The death scenes are pretty special in this game, I have to say. They are amazing. No. I'm sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. Come on, take him out. Take him out. Yes. Bang on yellow belt. You can't get better than that, ladies and gentlemen. This is awesome. Why is it that when people are watching